Women talk too much, men don't talk at all. I hear this all the time. And this is a very common dynamic that we now have in our relationships, where women are attempting to express themselves, looking to discuss what is worrying them in a relationship. See, women are wired for security and safety and have been for millions of years of evolution. Men are not tuned into that as much. You know, a man often will just walk out the front door and he doesn't have to think about what's going to happen. Women do. And so when she's expressing herself, she'll be expressing herself about all the areas of their life together, like the kids or money, their relationship, about other things that are concerning her or worrying her. And what he will do as a man is he tries to take big things and make them very small. And the problem with doing that is the moment you take big things and minimize them, then what she's immediately going to feel is you don't care. And it then goes to the next step. If he doesn't care, that means he doesn't really love me. And enough years of that minimization of what she's worried about, she will feel unloved and want to leave, which is why 80% of divorces are initiated by women now, because of that dynamic. That one dynamic alone is creating this. And you can change it. You can change it very quickly when you learn how to communicate in a new way. But you have to put the effort, the time, and energy into learning this. It's not going to happen from just watching a TikTok and getting the knowledge. Knowledge is one thing, implementation completely different. And that's what we do in our live events. We help condition in a brand new behavior. So he will be present. He will be listening to you. He wants to do that, but he doesn't know how to do that right now. You know, whenever you're talking to him, he gets flooded and overwhelmed with your words and your communication because he's focused in on the content, the logic of what you're saying. And then he wants to make it small. And that's why it appears that men don't talk. They do talk. But the way they talk is a lot less words and they're focused on logic rather than emotion. And relationships, if you haven't worked that out by now, are all about emotions, not logic. Great be logical at work. Great be logical when you're helping the kids with their homework. But it ain't going to work in your communication. And so many people now are in their heads. In other words, they're very non-emotional because often as a child, it wasn't safe for us to be emotional. So we learned to be in our heads to deal with life. I know a lot of you that watch these TikToks are in your heads, and I know that you know you're in your heads. And yet you keep using the same style of communication out of your head, both men and women, instead of being in your hearts to communicate. Now, you may say this is all airy-fairy bullshit. The reality is it's not. We have neurons, same cells we have in our brain, in our heart muscle. And we now know that the heart actually contains a lot of emotional information, which it sends to the vagus nerve at the back of your head into your brain. And that emotional feedback in intimate communication is essential. So you can't be in your head when you want to communicate. Now, there's no point running to your partner and going, you're in your head when you're communicating with me. That is not going to work because they're going to be very defensive about that. But what you can do is you can learn to be in your heart when you communicate. And that will have a profound impact on the result of the communication that you're having. Now, a lot of people go, well, I've already tried that. I've already, been to my partner and had that communication. No, you haven't. How do I know? Because we've dealt with thousands and thousands of people now over the last 25 years. And they come to me and they go, I've already done that. Okay, show me how you're doing it. And they try, and clearly they're in their heads. So when we work with them and get them into their hearts, when they go and communicate with their partner, different result immediately. This is a skill. It's a skill that must be learned if you want to have a successful, loving relationship. And for 99.9% of people on this planet, your parents, your school, your church did not show you how to be in your heart when you communicate. So it appears like women use lots of words and men shut down, but that's just culturally now what we've been conditioned to do. If you don't know why, well, watch my other videos on cultural conditioning and you'll find out. Take care.